Story 1. And I need you more than I want you, and I want you for all time. Story 2. Elderly woman behind the counter in a small town by Pearl Jam. The titular girl is trying to remember a man she sees, and she thinks, I cannot find the candle of thought to light your name. I don't know why, but I always thought that was hauntingly beautiful. The whole song is beautifully written, but that line really stands out for some reason. Story 3. I know someday you will have a beautiful life. I know you will be a star in someone else's sky, but why can't it be mine? Story 4. But you don't really care for music, do you? Leonard Cohen. This perfectly captures the feeling of someone you care for not appreciating something that is very important to you. Story 5. Losing love is like a window in your heart. Everyone sees you are heartbroken. Everyone feels the wind blow. Story 6. I can't make you love me. I'll close my eyes. Then I won't see the love you don't feel when you're holding me. Story 7. We weren't in love. Far from it. We weren't searching for some unattainable dream. We were just young, restless, and bored, living recklessly. We stole away every chance we could, to the back room, the alley, or the nearby woods. I used her, she used me, but neither of us cared. We were getting our share. Night Moves by Bob Seger. Story 8. I believe it's a sign that the freckles in our eyes are mirror images, and when we kiss, they are perfectly aligned. Story 9. Does anyone know where the love of God goes when the waves turn the minutes to hours? Story 10. She comes out of the sun in a silk dress, running like a watercolor in the rain. I visualize this line whenever I hear it, and it makes me happy. Story 11. When the day ahead seems impossible to face, when someone else always seems to know the way, I look at you, and the world is all right with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's going to be a lovely day. Story 12. And these children that you disregard as they try to change their worlds are immune to your consultations. They are quite aware of what they are going through. David Bowie's song Changes resonated with me as a kid from one perspective, and now as an adult from another. Story 13. Just remember in the winter, far beneath the bitter snows lies the seed that, with the sun's love, in the spring becomes the rose. Story 14. And so you see, I have come to doubt all that I once held as true. I stand alone without beliefs. The only truth I know is you. Story 15. And if you listen very hard, the tune will come to you at last. We are one and one is all. To be a rock and not roll. Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven. Story 16. When you see the Southern Cross for the first time, you understand why you came this way. The truth you might be running from is small, but it is as big as the promise of the coming day. Story 17. Some boys take a beautiful girl and hide her away from the rest of the world. I want to be the one to walk in the sun. Story 18. I woke up this morning. I don't believe what I saw. 100 million bottles washed up on the shore. Seems I'm not alone in being alone. 100 million castaways are looking for a home. Story 19. It is never over. My kingdom for a kiss upon her shoulder. It is never over. All my riches for her smile when I slept so softly against her. It is never over. All my blood for the sweetness of her laughter. It is never over. She is the tear that hangs inside my soul forever. Story 20. Because my love for you would break my heart in two if you should fall into my arms and tremble like a flower. Story 21. Don't hang on. Nothing lasts forever but the earth and sky, the way that light attaches to a girl. Story 22. I will go down with this ship. I won't put my hands up and surrender. There will be no white flag above my door. I am in love and always will be. Story 23. If you see her, say hello. She might be in Tangier. She left here last early spring and is living there, I hear. Story 24. I remember one Christmas morning, a winter's light and a distant choir, the peal of a bell, and that Christmas tree smell, with their eyes full of tinsel and fire. Story 25. Those eyes like fire. I'm a winged insect, you're a funeral pyre. Come now, bite through these wires. I'm a waking hell, and the gods grow tired. Reset my patient violence along both lines to a pathway higher. Grow back your sharpest teeth. You know my desire. Story 26. Sounds of laughter and shades of life are ringing through my ears, inciting and inviting me. Limitless, undying love shines around me like a million suns and calls me on and on across the universe. Story 27. Some say life will beat you down, break your heart, and steal your crown. So I started out for God knows where. I guess I'll know when I get there. Story 28. And now she wants to cry, staying in on Friday night, lying in her birthday suit, listening to the bickering from the room above, wondering if it's fear of loneliness or love that keeps people like that together forever. Story 29. There are things I want to say to you, but I will just let you live. If you hold me without hurting me, you will be the first that ever did. Story 30. As your fading figure blows a kiss, I catch and smash it on my lips. Sweet Dreams, Tennessee, the last shadow puppets. That entire song is written beautifully and sung like something I could only describe as a British cowboy love ballad. But that specific lyric makes me swoon every time. Story 31. I'd be the voice that urged Orpheus when her body was found. I'd be the choiceless hope in grief that drove him underground. I'd be the dreadful need in the devotee that made him turn around. And I'd be the immediate forgiveness in Eurydice. Imagine being loved by me. Story 32. And you run to catch up with the sun, but it's sinking and racing around to come up behind you again. The sun is the same in a relative way, but you're older, shorter of breath, and one day closer to death. Story 33. Not sure if beautiful in this sense, but it is influential to me. In the song Althea by the Grateful Dead, the line "Ain't nobody messing with you," but you always resonates with me when I struggle with insecurity, and it has been very helpful. Story 34. Do you realize that everyone you know will someday die? Instead of saying all of your goodbyes, let them know you understand that life goes fast. It's hard to make the good things last. You realize the sun doesn't go down. It's just an illusion caused by the world spinning around. Story 35. I know someday you will have a beautiful life. I know you will be a star in somebody else's sky. So why can't it be mine? Story 36. Oh, where can my baby be? The Lord took her away from me. She's gone to heaven, so I must be good, so I can see my baby when I leave this world. Story 37. And you can't find your waitress with a Geiger counter. She dislikes you and your friends, and you just can't get served without her. Story 38. I've been through times when no one cared, seen clouds and empty skies, when one kind word meant more to me than all the love in paradise. Story 39. This is not the greatest song in the world. This is just a tribute. You have to believe me. I wish you were here. Story 40. Please, I've been on my knees. Change the prophecy. I don't want money, just someone who wants my company. Let it be me. Who do I need to speak to about redoing the prophecy? Who do I need to speak to in order to change the prophecy? Story 41. She's neither acidic nor alkaline, caught between black and white, not quite day or night. She's perfectly misaligned. I'm caught up in her design and how it connects to mine. I see in a different light the objects of my desire. Let's talk about chemistry, as I'm eager to connect with the heart of her essence until the particles part like holy water. If anything, she's an undiscovered element, either born in hell or heaven sent, but either way, I'm into it. Story 42. I know someday you will have a beautiful life. I know you will be a star in somebody else's sky. But why can't it be, oh can it be mine? Story 43. Remember mother's words. There beneath the tree, no matter what the world, you'll always be my baby. Mommy, come quickly. The dreaming tree has died. I can't find my way home. I have no place to hide. The dreaming tree has died. Dreaming Tree by Dave Matthews Band. Story 44. Why is everyone sleeping on Hosier? His lyrics are pure poetry. No grave could hold my body down. I'll crawl home to her. I'd burn the world to bring some heat to you. The only heaven I'll be sent to is when I'm alone with you. and the epic Francesca. Now that it's done, there's not one thing that I would change. My life was a storm since I was born. How could I fear any hurricane? If someone asked me at the end, I'd tell them to put me back in it. I would do it again. If I could hold you for a minute, I'd go through it again. I would still be surprised I could find you, darling, in any life. If I could hold you for a minute, darling, I would do it again. Story 45. Build my fear of what is out there. I cannot breathe the open air. Whisper things into my mind, assuring me that I am insane. They think our heads are in their hands, but violent use brings violent plans. Keep him tied. It makes him well. He is getting better. Can you tell? Hearing these lyrics in my head while sitting in a locked psychiatric unit after getting out of the army, I find it beautiful because it is so unbelievably real and honest. Story 46. It's a toss-up between cold silence has a tendency to atrophy any sense of compassion between supposed lovers. Tool, schism. And finally found a payphone, dropped my change and made the call. You picked up, whispered last room on the left and down the hall. Found you faced away in your pristine uniform. Red light turned down low signified the coming storm. Princess goes, blur. Story 47. Now I cannot speak. I lost my voice. I'm speechless because saying I love you is not enough. I'm at a loss for words. Story 48. I have always loved the opening lyric from Head Over Heels by Tears for Fears. I want to be with you alone and talk about the weather. Story 49. I wish I could forget how we almost had it all. Dancing phantoms on the terrace. Are they secondhand embarrassed that I can't get out of bed? Because something counterfeit is dead. It was legendary, momentary, and unnecessary. I should have let it stay buried. Story 50. I have read the script and the costume fits, so I will play my part. I love that line in one of my favorite songs. Story 51. I may not always love you, but as long as there are stars above you, you never need to doubt it. I will make you so sure about it. Story 52. I'm blue. To BAD to BAD. 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 Story 53. First off, forget you and the group you represent. West Side, when we ride, we come equipped with skills. You claim to be a player, but I was with your wife. We take down bad individuals for life. Story 54. We are in the midst of a hostile government takeover. I would like to discuss it, but I will be late for work. This sums up decades of eroding the middle class to ensure that individuals are too tired, poor, and stressed to confront the reality that their government is undermining democracy. Story 55. Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, pure poetry. Story 56. And Louise holds a handful of rain, tempting you to defy it. Gentle rain falls on me. All life folds back into the sea. We contemplate eternity beneath the vast indifference of heaven. Is it too much to ask that this man with a past could be happy at last with a future like you? Story 57. Once every 100,000 years or so, when the sun shines and the moon glows and the grass grows. Story 58. Through the fish-eyed lens of tear-stained eyes, I can barely define the shape of this moment in time. Story 59. You're everything and everyone who is or ever was, forever. I heard it on a children's show, and it brought me to tears. Story 60. Rod Stewart, you're in my heart. My love for you is immeasurable. My respect for you is immense. You're ageless, timeless, and full of grace. Your beauty and elegance. You're a rhapsody, a comedy. You're a symphony and a play. You're every love song ever written. But, honey, what do you see in me? Story 61. When you are on stage, it's unbelievable how they adore you. But your wife seems to think you are losing your sanity. Oh, what a calamity. Is there no way out? Story 62. While you are away, my heart comes undone and slowly unravels like a ball of yarn. Bjork's song Unravel is truly beautiful. Story 63. I cannot make it go away by portraying you as the villain. I suppose that is the price I paid for 7 years in bliss. I pulled your body into mine every night, and now I receive only insincere niceties. No one teaches you how to cope when a good person causes you pain. And you know you hurt him as well. Story 64. I dislike it here, so I will go to the lunar valleys in my mind. When they found a better planet, only the gentle survived. I dreamed about it in the dark, the night I felt like I might die. Story 65. Ages come and go, but her life continues the same. She lives to see the sun, feel the wind, and drink the rain. Story 66. I won't let you go. If you feel the flames of the fire and you're too weak to carry the fight, and all your friends that you cared for have disappeared, I'll be there, not gone, forever holding on. Story 67. I felt the coldness of winter. I never thought it would ever go. I cursed the gloom that sat upon us. But I know that I love you so. Story 68. And the seeds that were silent all burst into bloom and decay. Eyes of the world by the grateful dead. Story 69. Dehydrate back into minerals. A lifelong walk to the same exact spot. Carbon's anniversary. The parting of the sensory. Old mystery. Parting of the sensory modest mouse. Story 70. Nothing worth having comes without some kind of fight. You have to kick at the darkness until it bleeds daylight. Story 71. Life is sad. Life is difficult. All you can do is what you must. You do what you need to do and you do it well. I do it for you, my dear. Can't you tell? Story 72. Day after day, alone on a hill, the man with the foolish grin is keeping perfectly still. But nobody wants to know him. They can see that he is just a fool. He never gives an answer. Story 73. I let you cut me open just to watch me bleed. I gave up who I am for who you wanted me to be. I don't know why I'm hoping for what I won't receive. I'm falling for the promise of the emptiness machine. Story 74. I wish you bluebirds in the spring to give your heart a song to sing. The way it is sung by Sam Cooke or Joe Bataan, depending on which version you listen to, is absolutely beautiful. Story 75. She says beauty is pain, and there is beauty in everything. This part of the lyrics always makes me emotional. Story 76. In dearth or in excess, both the slave and the empress will return to the earth, I guess, naked as they came. Story 77. We tripped the light fandango, turned cartwheels across the floor, and the moon rose over an open field. Story 78. And the world that is in your face. It is such a beautiful place. The world that is in your eyes. It is such a beautiful lie. Story 79. He stopped loving her today. Maybe we will get 40 years together, but someday I will be gone, or someday you will be gone. Running through these people like drainage. Story 80. The first one to come to mind is Patrick Droney's Glitter. See grief, it's just like glitter. It's hard to brush away. Bright light, and it still shimmers like it was yesterday. And it falls like confetti. All of the memories explode like a hand grenade. And it's sweet and it's bitter. Grief, it's like glitter. Oh, what a mess it makes. Story 81. I have a few. Does anyone know where the love of God goes when the waves turn the minutes to hours? And, oh, let the sun beat down upon my face, stars to fill my dreams. I am a traveler of both time and space, to be where I have been. To sit with elders of a gentle race, this world has seldom seen. They talk of days for which they sit. Story 82. Does anyone know where the love of God goes when the waves turn the minutes into hours? Gordon Lightfoot, Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Story 83. With illusions of someday cast in a golden light, there is no dress rehearsal. This is our life. Ahead by a century tragically hip. Rest in peace, Gord. Story 84. Got my hands in the river, my feet back up on the bank. I looked up to the Lord above and said, "Hey man, thanks. Sometimes I feel so good I have to scream." She responded, "Gordy, baby, I know exactly what you mean." Story 85. I love you in a place where there is no space or time. I know your perception of me is what I hope to be. I treated you unkindly, but darling, can't you see? There is no one more important to me. Baby, can't you see through me? Story 86. Do you realize that everyone you know will someday die? Instead of saying all your goodbyes, let them know you understand that life goes fast. It's hard to make the good things last. You realize the sun does not go down. It's just an illusion caused by the world spinning around. Story 87. The Gaslight Anthem song is about a grandmother who passed away from Alzheimer's disease, and the singer wants her to know how well he is doing. The last line is, "If I recall the last thing you said to me, before it broke up, before it took you from me, and you said, I love you more than the stars in the sky, but your name just escapes me tonight." Story 88. We were once so close to heaven. Peter came out and gave us medals, declaring us the nicest of the damned. Road movie to Berlin by They Might Be Giants. Story 89. But now the days are short. I am in the autumn of the year and I think of my life as vintage wine. Story 90. I see your eyes in the morning sun. I feel you touch me in the pouring rain. And the moment you wander far from me, I want to feel you in my arms again. Story 91. As a parent whose toddler just fell asleep next to me, I am a big fan of John Lennon's Beautiful Boy. Story 92. I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I'll love you for 1,000 more. Story 93. Maybe not beautiful and happy, but beautiful and haunting. Does anyone know where the love of God goes when the waves turn the minutes to hours? The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald by Gordon Lightfoot. Story 94. Flaming Lips, do you realize, has been playing in my head lately. You realize the sun doesn't go down. It's just an illusion caused by the world spinning round. Story 95. Does anyone know where the love of God goes when the waves turn the minutes to hours? Gordon Lightfoot, The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Story 96. Some words are sad to sing. Some leave me tongue-tied. But the hardest words I know are, I love you, goodbye. Story 97. I know you said single, but I'm sorry. Trigger warning for eating disorders. These quotes are very meaningful to me as I am a bulimic who is trying to recover, albeit not succeeding just yet. From 4 Stone 7 Pounds by the Manic Street Preachers. I want to walk in the snow and not leave a footprint. I want to walk in the snow and not soil its purity. Stomach collapsed at 5. Lift up my skirt. My sexuality is gone. Naked and lovely. And 5st2. May I bud and never flower. From Skinny by Edith Eklund. Hunger takes hold of me, making my decisions. Glossy fashion magazines will feed my new addiction. I see these as very poetic and meaningful, to be honest. Story 98. My soul is painted like the wings of butterflies. Fairy tales of yesterday grow but never die. I can fly, my friends. The show must go on. Story 99. It's been a tough year for me, filled with questions about who I am and what I want to be. I have also found some answers. The fog has lifted. I feel better every day, and now that feeling is here to stay. Story 100. Come on, mama. Heal this lonesome man. Grow the tree of wholeness. In this desert land from Steve Miller Band's Wild Mountain Honey. Story 101. We'll see creation come undone. These bones that bound us will be gone. We'll stir our spirits until we're one. Then soft as shadows will become. Sea of Voices, Porter Robinson. Story 102. It's intense and traumatizing. The content is monstrous, and the combinations are organic. This combination is highly dangerous. It's incredibly impressive. I'm enthusiastic. I'll grab the microphone, spit my lyrics, and then drool a bit. Please don't upset me. Don't make me angry. I'm lucrative. I'm delivering powerful punches. I'll break and bruise your ribs. I'm not new to this. You know I'm actually not. I want to live in a tropical place where it's naturally hot. The human race is gruesome. Humanity is lost. I don't exaggerate when I take matters into my own hands. Reality stops. When I see attractive women in front of me, My body reacts. I don't exaggerate, reality glitches. We love intimacy and adult content. I'm penetrating so deep that now she needs about 30 stitches. My heavy flows are very cold. They've made me many riches. I attract many women, but I don't get any discomfort. Trust me, my experience is never burning like bridges. If she gives me any diseases, I'll leave her buried. Story 103. There are many things along the road I would like to see. I want to lean into the wind and tell myself I am free. But your softest whisper is louder than the highway's call to me. Close your eyes. I will be here in the morning. Story 104. His foot nudged the brakes to slow him down, but the pedal was pressed all the way down without a sound. He exclaimed, "Christ!" It was amusing how he had named the only man who could save him now. Story 105. Let me be the one who calls you darling all the time. Surely you can find comfort knowing that you're mine. Just hold me tight, lay by my side, and let me be the one who calls you darling all the time. I found my place in the world. I could look at your face for the rest of my days. Now I can breathe, turning my insides out and feeling smothered by you. Warm and alive, I'm all over you. Would you embrace me? Story 106. Fear not this night. You will not go astray. Though shadows fall, still the stars find their way. You can always be strong. Lift your voice with the first light of dawn. Dawn is just a heartbeat away. Hope is just a sunrise away. Story 107. Only the dead have seen the end of war. It is from a ninja sex party song about a hamster. Story 108. So it is that we are good, though we do not always do as we should. We lose track of right and wrong, and we are not always standing strong. But still, don't you want to believe in things that eyes do not perceive? Like a light shining from within that can win in a battle with our darkness. Story 109. If you think it might be her, promise me, young man, that you will let her know. You won't go lonely. Dermot Kennedy after rain. Story 110. The sky turns blue and the sun appears, but the question remains, what are we doing here? I don't think the answer is close at hand. Story 111. The past is behind me, so I cannot look back for long. There is so much to see ahead, and I know that I cannot go wrong. Story 112. I was sitting across from a date when she looked at me and said, "You are so beautiful. Whenever I am feeling down, I think of that." Story 113. She just woke up, but she is still tired. Is that the telephone ringing? The curtains can't hold back the light. Story 114. You were born. You were born into a strange world. Like a candle, you were meant to share the fire. I don't know where we come from, and I don't know where we go, but my arms were made to hold you, so I will never let you go, because you were born to change this life. You were born to chase the light. You were born. Love your mother, yes, she is a good one. She'll build you armor, keep you warm as a hen. The stars may fall and the rains may pour, but I will love you evermore. You were born to make this right. You were born to chase the light. You were born, oh my precious, oh my love. When they come to take me, I will hold you from above. I don't know why we're here and I don't know how, but I'm here with you now, because you were born to change this life, because you were born to make this right, because you were born to chase the light. Story 115. And somewhere between the time you arrive and the time you go may lie a reason you were alive that you'll never know. Story 116. I end my life. I take my own life. Accept this death. With open arms. Piercing pain. When I cut it all. From life to death. I breathe my last breath. Story 117. The station pulls away from the train. The blue fades away from the sky. Story 118. And the sweet-tasting good life is so easily found. Away over there is where I'm headed. Story 119. Either the beast in me is caged by frail and fragile bars by Johnny Cash. Or, I once got busy in a Burger King bathroom by Digital Underground. Story 120. At first, there was just a rustle of canvas and the gentlest breath on my face. but a galloping line of white horses signaled that soon we were in for a race. The Wild Wild Sea. Story 121. In the midst of the ruby-red river that flows through this darkening concrete, devouring ghosts that float by, I'm with them. Story 122. Thy soul, the fixed foot, makes no show to move, but does, if the other does. And though it sits in the center, when the other roams far, it leans and listens after it, and grows upright as that comes home. Such will you be to me, who must, like the other foot, run obliquely. Your firmness makes my circle just, and makes me end where I began. Story 123. I have been clawing away at what is underneath, closer than solid ground beneath your feet, closer even now than lips and teeth, closer now than out of reach. The body remembers what the mind forgets, archiving every heartbreak and cigarette. These reset bones might not hold, but they might yet. Story 124. It's never over. All my blood for the sweetness of her laughter. It's never over. She is the tear that hangs inside my soul forever. Story 125. I know you have a heavy heart. I can feel it when we kiss. Many men stronger than I have thrown their backs out trying to lift it. But I'm... Story 126. I have been contemplating suicide, but it does not suit my style. Instead, I think I will just act bored and contain the blood I would have shed. Story 127. That you're waiting on the back roads by the river in my memories, ever smiling, ever gentle on my mind. Story 128. Wasn't there a dream last night like spring never ending? Still, the water runs clear through my mind. Story 129. Not necessarily beautiful, but a song that makes me want to be the best version of myself is Are You What You Want to Be? By Foster the People. The lyrics. And well, I'm afraid of saying too much and ending a martyr, but even more so I'm afraid to face God and say I was a coward. Story 130. Ride a white mare in the footsteps of dawn, trying to find a woman who has never been born. Story 131. If you want to view paradise, simply look at them and see it. Someone to hold on to is all we really need. Nothing else to it. Story 132. I have finally found a place to live in the presence of the Lord. Blind faith. I am not a heavily religious person, but this song resonates with me. Story 133. I love the colorful clothes she wears and the way the sunlight plays upon her hair. I hear the sound of a gentle word on the wind that. Story 134. I tried to have a thought off the top of my head, but my heart expressed what it needed to say instead. Probably won't make a difference in the end, as you've surprised me once more. Story 135. If there's one reason to smile, it's when you look up at night. You're fortunate enough to drink in a vista. 100 billion flares display a glowing history spread out across a canvas. The night sky. Your skin and bones, heart and mind, are made from the remnants of stars that died. Can you feel it inside? A supergiant erupts into a supernova, the ultimate sacrifice, and we are the descendants. Story 136. I hear your eyes, and I see those cries. I cannot be the only one who hears you. Story 137. I have two quotes that resonate deeply with me. No one is safe inside their safety zone. No use for a name. What's left to catch but the fear of letting go? Emerosa. Story 138. So forget this cruel world where I belong. I'll just sit and wait and sing my song. And if one day you should see me in the crowd, lend a hand and lift me to your place in the cloud. Story 139. Overthinking and overanalyzing separate the body from the mind, diminishing my intuition and leaving opportunities behind. Story 140. Jane says she has never been in love. She doesn't know what it is, only that if someone wants her, she wants them too. All she knows is that they want her. Story 141. Inside the museums, infinity goes up on trial. Voices echo. This is what salvation must be like after a while. But the Mona Lisa must have had the highway blues. You can tell by the way she smiles. Story 142. Though we live in challenging times, we are the ones who must try. Though we know that time has wings, we are the ones who must fly. Story 143. Sometimes you make me feel like I'm living at the edge of the world. It's just the way I smile, you said. Story 144. When I feel what I feel, it's hard for me to tell you. You may not be in the mood to learn what you think you know. For trouble seems so far away, you changed that right away, baby. Story 145. It seems like this world is still trying to tame me, but that's just what I want. A beautiful struggle. While staring at each other's hourglasses, let's share a kiss at the place farthest from our eventual goodbye. Story 146. Your eyes shine through me. You are so divine to me. Your heart has a home in mine. We won't have to say a word. With a touch, all shall be heard. When I search my heart, it's you I find. Story 147. Say what you will, but the time we spend on earth should not be alone. We were meant to be known. You make me what I am worth. Story 148. And my bitter pill to swallow is the silence that I keep. Poisons me. I can't swim free. The river is too deep. Though I'm baptized by your touch, I am no better at most. I am all the worse at most in love with your ghost. Unrequited love is a real challenge. Story 149. Goodbye, Max. Goodbye, Ma. After the service, when you're walking slowly to the car and the silver in your hair shines in the cold November air, you hear the tolling bell and touch the silk in your lapel. As the teardrops rise to meet the comfort of the band, you take her frail hand. Story 150. DJ Black Coffee featuring David Guetta. Drive all night. There is a line in that song that goes, "Our love is dead to me, but I believe in ghosts." Story 151. I don't find it beautiful, but I find it exceedingly true. The ones who love us least are the ones we would do anything to please. Paul Westerberg and the Replacements. Bastards of Young. Story 152. Living is easy with your eyes closed, misunderstanding everything you see. It is getting hard to be someone, but it all works out. It doesn't matter much to me. Story 153. I've got so much more to give. This can't end. I yearn to live. Pour yourself all over me, and I'll cherish every drop here on my knees. Story 154. Ah, they all want your white body and await your reply. But between you and me and the Staten Island ferry, so do I. Story 155. You will sit alone forever if you wait for the right time. What are you hoping for? I am here, I am now, I am ready. Holding on tight, do not give away the end. The one thing that stays mine. Story 156. We got back in the car and listened to a Dylan tape. We drove around the fields until it started getting late. I returned to my hotel room on the highway while he got back in his car and drove away. Story 157. Take me back to your bed. I love you so much that it hurts my head. Say, I don't mind you under my skin. I'll let the bad parts in. You're my favorite bird. And when you sing, I really wish you would wear my ring. Pretty much anything by Brand New speaks to my soul. Story 158. It's not just what you say to people, and it's not the way you look at me. It's the way you present yourself for all your worst critics to see. Story 159. Nothing worth having comes without some kind of fight. You have to kick at the darkness until it bleeds daylight. Story 160. The sharp cutting of the cold wind and the sharp loss of your best friend. The story is bruising as it is written. Adrienne Lenker. What can you say? Story 161. I know time is going to take me. I won't always be around. The only thought that shakes me is that you'll have to lay me in the ground. So, when my final day is done, just lay me in the dirt. I'll meet you back in heaven because you were mine on earth. Dan McCabe. Heaven's only a touch away. Story 162. The frost on the ground probably envies the frost on the trees. It is not for me to understand. Remember him when he was still a good man, with a vandal's smile and a baseball in his right hand. Nothing but the blue sky in his eyes, along with countless other Jason Isbell lyrics. Story 163. Extraterrestrial. Running over pedestrians while they are screaming at me. Let's just be friends. Story 164. I walk beside you. I may be gone. I may be far away, but I walk beside you. every step of the way. When you're used, bruised, black and blue, don't think about it. Never doubt it. I'll Walk Beside You, by Adrian Johnson. Story 165. Sugar, here is a dime for the 10 times I went around behind your eyes telling little white lies. I made you feel right, but it wasn't right. I was trying to satisfy my dirty side. I have been thinking every day. I am bound to be found for my choices made. There is only one to blame, and I wear the name. I lay my head down as it starts to rain. Story 166. It's never over. All my blood for the sweetness of her laughter. It's never over. She is the tear that hangs inside my soul forever. Story 167. Well, my love, you made it home. Without you here, I am so alone. But I will fight until my last breath because you are the guide that beats in my chest. Story 168. Standing like a stone on the old plantation, the wealthy man would never have let him in. Good enough to hire, but not good enough to marry. When it all happens, nobody wins. Story 169. Haul the sheets in as we ride on the wind that our forefathers sailed before us. Hear the bells ring as the tight rigging sings. It's quite a chorus. Jimmy Buffett. Story 170. Fogging the view, cupping your face to the window. In darkness you make out a spiraling shape. Putting all reason aside, you exchange what you have for something hypnotic and strange. Story 171. Even the bird with the broken wing sings from the ground. Crystal Bowersox was on American Idol years ago. Her album Alive is excellent. Story 172. Try to measure loss, measure the silence of a house, the unheard footsteps at the doorway, the silence of the mouth. Waking up, having forgotten and remembering again the full extent of what forever is. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.